Now that we learned how to use the Angular Material pre-built color palettes, let's generate our own custom SCSS file by running this command right here. And if you're just joining us, you haven't been following along from the beginning, you want to just double check to make sure that you have this package installed in your application before running this command. And this is very similar to what we did a couple of videos back when we generated our custom CSS file. But the only difference now is we're going to create our own custom SCSS file in this video. The color that we'll go with this time is this orange color. And by the end of the video, we should see our new primary color updated with that orange color. Let's double check our package.json file one more time. So you should have this already installed in your application. So if you've been following along from the beginning, you should be in good shape. If you do not see this within your package.json file, you'll want to install this before you run the command. So you'll want to go back a couple videos and we go through those steps on installing Angular material. But if you already have this installed, you should be in good shape and you'll be ready to run the command. Go ahead and open up the command line, paste in that command that we got out of the documentation, and hit enter. The first question, this is a required field, and this is about your primary color. So I'll enter in that orange color as a hex color, and then hit enter. The rest of the fields about the colors are optional, like the secondary. I'll just hit enter and let that auto-generate. Feel free to add in any hex color that you prefer. And then the error is the last one for the color, so I'll just go ahead and hit enter and let all those auto-generate. The next question is, do you want to use the high contrast value override? And in this case, I'm going to say yes. So in a prior video, when we were generating the CSS file, I said no. But in this case, I'll enter in Y and hit enter. And we'll go over the different high contrast values that this gives us. And in the next video, we'll go over on how to use the high contrast override. Then where do we want to put our new file? And I'll just hit enter and that will put it at the root level of our application. And then the last question is, do you want to create a CSS file or a SCSS file? In the last couple videos, we created the CSS custom file, but now we're going to create a SCSS file. So enter in Y and hit enter. That should generate you a new SCSS file and then put that at the root level of the application. Let's take a look at this file before we implement it into our application. So I close this down. And you'll notice this file looks a little different than the CSS file we generated a couple videos back. And you'll notice all our colors are now inside of this palettes variable, the primary. And you'll notice the primary is very similar to the color that we set within the command line, that orange color. And then we have the rest of the colors that were automatically generated for us since we didn't set them in the command line. And then how we're going to use this file is by calling on this variable, this primary palette variable. And we'll be pulling that into the style sheet in a second. Then also you'll notice this mixin, this high contrast override mixin. If you said no in the command line when it asked you if you wanted to use the high contrast values, you won't see this mixin in your style sheet. In the next video, I'm going to show you how we can use this mixin and how we can set it up within our style sheet. So to actually use this new style sheet now, I'm going to copy this palette right here, this palette variable. Now let's pull this into our style sheet. So I'll first drag this file into the source folder. And the reason I'm doing that is so our style sheets are all on the same level. And then open up the style sheet. And then we'll pull in our new custom theme. And we'll reference it by calling it theme. You can name this whatever you prefer though. And then now instead of using the pre-built Angular material theme, we'll swap this out to use our new custom theme. And I'll call on that primary palette that's set inside of our custom theme, this primary palette right here. And that's the only changes we need to make to use our custom palette. So save this, make sure your application is running, and let's view it in the browser. And in the browser, we are successfully applying our new custom theme that we generated. Now in the next video, let's take a closer look at the high contrast mixin that we created when we generated this file. and we'll do that next.